Gooseworx has revealed what's in store for Zooble in the new episode, and it's just disgusting. Zooble will be the main character of the third episode, and we already know that for sure. Since the pilot and second episode showed us very little about this character, it is in the third episode that we will learn all of Zooble's secrets and mysteries. Zooble is a rude, straightforward, arrogant, yet very sincere character, as we clearly saw in the Kaufmo funeral scene. An important detail is his insistence on refusing to participate in various adventures. Whereas in the pilot episode, Cain punished him for this, in the second episode, he managed to escape and go unpunished. As in the pilot episode, he was unaffected by any entreaties from Cain, and perhaps the artificial intelligence, which is 57 times better than NPCs, was designed specifically for Zooble. This means that the location under the map should have been Zooble, not Pomni. But why is Zooble so insistent on refusing to adventure? Most likely, something terrible happened to Zooble in one of the adventures before Pomni showed up, and the situation with Glink is just a child's prank compared to his past experiences. The third episode promises to be exciting, especially with the focus on Zooble. Gooseworx has already made it clear that this episode will reveal a lot of secrets about a character who has remained in the shadows until now. The interactions between Zooble and other characters like Jax add to the intrigue, and fans will finally be able to find out what's behind his cold and rough exterior. In the musical adventure, we were shown Zooble's room, which finally revealed what his parts chest looks like. But the most interesting part is the room itself. If you look closely, you can see a lot of colors and details that on one hand seem to fit together, but on the other hand are completely out of harmony with each other. This contrasts strongly with the rooms of the other characters. Now let's discuss what might happen to Zooble in the new episode and how it might affect future developments. What if Zooble is on the verge of death in an upcoming episode and refuses to participate in the adventure again? What kind of repercussions could arise? It is possible that the third episode will be a turning point for Zooble, and his refusal to participate could have serious consequences. Keep in mind that the third episode promises to be darker and perhaps even shocking, as it is not intended for children. This hints that something terrible and frightening is in store for us, and Zooble will be at the center of these events. Gooseworx has already revealed that his favorite image of Zooble will be introduced in episode 4, and from episodes 3 through 9, we will see significantly more scenes with the character. Thus, it is unlikely that Zooble will undergo a complete transformation into an abstract monster. However, it's worth remembering that Gooseworx also mentioned that the abstraction process will be dedicated to a separate episode, where we'll learn exactly how this phenomenon happens. With what we know so far, there is a possibility that Zooble could be the one to face abstraction. This process could begin as early as episode 3 amidst all the events that happen to him. Or, alternatively, Zooble may gain courage and become one of the leaders of the digital circus, leading the other characters to salvation. His boldness in responding to Cain and daring to Jax may indicate that Zooble will play a key role in helping Pomni find a way out of the circus. Assuming that Zooble turns out to be the villain opens up new plot possibilities and adds another layer of intrigue to the narrative. His brusque and arrogant character may not just be a manifestation of his personal qualities, but part of an elaborate disguise. Zooble could use his abruptness and aloofness as a way of keeping his distance from other characters to hide his true intentions. In Jax's case, we saw his charismatic but somewhat sinister nature develop into something truly terrifying in the second episode. Zooble, on the other hand, seems less open and more reserved, which could indicate deeper internal conflicts or even a double play. If he is indeed a hidden villain, his actions in previous episodes may be reinterpreted, and what previously seemed like random acts may turn out to be part of a more complex plan. If Series 3 focuses on revealing this darker aspect of Zooble, viewers may be faced with a sudden and dramatic change in his role in the story. Not only will this make the character more complex and interesting, but it will also change the dynamics of relationships within the circus. Other characters might begin to suspect Zooble, or he might alternatively be able to convince them of his virtue by using their trust against them. If Zooble does turn out to be a villain, however, it will raise many questions about his motivation. What made him choose this path? Was he like this from the beginning, or did something happen in the world of the circus that led to his downfall? It could also raise the question of who else might be hiding his true intentions. Could it be that there are other characters in the circus who are also playing a double game? Either way, if Zooble is indeed hiding dark intentions, it will be a strong dramatic moment for the series, and fans will be eager to see how this storyline unfolds. A fan asked Gooseworx how she felt about the idea of crossovers with new characters from other glitch shows. She replied that a crossover is possible because there is comedic potential in the idea. we were also told more about a possible crossover with new characters from one of the show's early episodes. It turns out that the show's pilot episode already cross-referenced another Gooseworx project from their past small show, which we were shown in this very important scene. Zubul is spit out by the glowing queen after being partially eaten. Kinger asks her if she saw the game show inside, which directly references the game show scene from Little Ranmo that appeared after the main character was eaten. The fact that the show has had small crossovers in the past means that they may be planning a larger crossover in the future. We've also been given new images and postings about the upcoming crossover in the show's third episode that give us a glimpse of what it could be. Gooseworx ended up reposting the first image of an upcoming crossover between The Amazing Digital Circus and another show called The New Norma. There was even an official statement about the crossover from Gooseworx, saying that a new crossover between Digital Circus and Norm SL would be the indie animation win everyone has been waiting for. This brings more and more attention to the idea of a true crossover in the series coming soon, although the first concept with the new Norm isn't really meant to appear in the series. Backstage sources are reporting that the actual crossover, which may appear in future episodes, will be related to another popular glitch series called Killer Drones. There is speculation that Killer Drones could appear in a future episode of Digital Circus. Recent promotional images of Glitch show the main characters, Pomni and N together, raising viewer expectations and promising an interesting crossover. Gooseworx specifically mentioned that this new crossover will have potential for comedy, especially because of the similarities in the personalities of the main characters. Pomni, being both a bumbling and caring character, would fit perfectly into the funny scenes that could result from interacting with characters from Killer Drones. Such a crossover could not only expand the universe of both shows, but also offer viewers new, unexpected moments that would add humor and depth to the story. Continuing with the crossover theme, it's worth noting that the potential for interaction between the characters of Digital Circus and Killer Drones is really exciting for fans. Pomni and N, with their unique personalities, could create some interesting and comical situations. Pomni, known for his clumsiness and caring personality, may find it difficult to understand and connect with the characters in Killer Drones, which will likely be a source of humor and unexpected twists. Gooseworx has also hinted that this crossover will not only be funny, but will also add emotional depth. The interactions between characters from two different shows could reveal new sides to their personalities and give viewers a chance to see how they handle unexpected situations. While it is not yet known when exactly this crossover will take place, expectations are high. This event could be an important moment for both shows, bringing their universes together and creating a new dynamic that viewers will love. It remains to be watched for more announcements and releases to learn more about how this crossover will unfold and what surprises the creators have in store for their fans. However, based on hints, N is likely to appear in a future episode of Digital Circus more as a minor reference rather than a full-fledged character. Unlike other crossovers in the series, his involvement will probably be limited to a few short scenes that will serve as subtle references to the Killer Drones. Such episodic appearances may include funny or symbolic moments that will be understandable to fans of both universes. This approach will keep the spirit of the crossover alive without distracting too much from the main plot of Digital Circus, while still being enjoyable for viewers who notice the connection. While N may not get as much in-depth development within Digital Circus as other characters, his presence will add an interesting element to the overall story and allow fans to enjoy the crossover between the worlds of the two popular Glitch series.